Hey, Hockey fans, how's everybody doing? It's a pretty decent night in hockey. Could have been a little better, but it ended up not being too bad at all. Picks were 2-2, laid 6 wagers, 4 out of the 6 paid. So we ended up in the green. We ended up in the positive, made a little bit of money, so it was a decent night. Anaheim surprised me that they lost to Seattle, and Mike Smith stood on his head, but still, it was a good night of hockey. It was a great night of hockey, actually. I'll post those results tomorrow when I have a little more time, but I wanted to do this video so I can get some sleep. This is for Saturday, February 12th, 2022. There's 8 games on the board, 3 morning games, and then the rest of them are evening games. So we'll talk about them, we'll make some picks, and we'll see if we can keep the weekend in the green. First game, we got Philadelphia against Detroit. Detroit 5-4-1 in their last 10. Current 1-game winning streak. Alex Nedeljkovic listed to be in net for the Red Wings. Philadelphia has Carter Hart confirmed to be in net. They're 2-7-1 in their last 10. Current 1-game losing streak. This is a rematch of Wednesday when these teams faced each other in Philadelphia. Game ended with Detroit doubling up the Flyers 6-3. Dylan Larkin opening things on a power play goal. All 6 goals for Detroit from 6 different players. Great team effort from the Red Wings. Detroit was a better team. They outshot Philly 34-24. Red Wings were 1 for 3 on the power play and held Philly off when down a man on 5 different opportunities. It was the same goalie matchup on Wednesday as what they've got listed to play here on Saturday morning. Flyers' first loss after showing a little life. They had won 2 straight. Both teams with a list of bodies out. I think that Detroit is a little healthier. And also, I think Troy Stecher could be back in the lineup, helping them in their back end. Flyers have let this season kind of go, right? I mean, they're last in the Metropolitan. They're 0 for 4 in a shootout if it gets to that point. The worst goal differential in the league, sitting at a -42. And it's tough, right? I mean, one of these teams, like the Islanders, 2 teams that I thought were going to have a better season than what they're having. This is going to be number 2 in a 3-game series. Moneyline has Philadelphia as a dog, as they should be, plus 140 or 2.4, over under set at 6. Detroit minus 160 or 1.62. You got to like the Red Wings at home to win that game. That's my first pick. Next one, another morning matinee matchup, an Atlantic Division matchup. We have Boston taking on Ottawa. Ottawa 5-3-2 in their last 10. Current 1-game losing streak. Matt Murray listed to be in net. He was pretty busy that last game. It wouldn't surprise me if Forsberg's in net here, but with the way Matt Murray's playing, I wouldn't also be surprised to see him get the nod again. Boston has Jeremy Swayman confirmed to be in net for them. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. Current 2-game losing streak. Senators, they sit 6th in the division with 36 points. They wrap up a 4-game home stretch here. So far, they're 2-1, back-to-back wins Monday and Tuesday and Thursday. Their last game, a 2-1 loss to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh peppered Matt Murray with 44 shots and only 1 made it by him, a .977 save percentage. It was a great night for Murray. There's no other way to look at that. Both goalies were named stars of the game. Ottawa continuing to be competitive, and with the way Murray is playing his part, this team's going to win some games, and they seem to play to their level of their competition, right? I mean, they play better when they're playing better teams. This could be a good game, and they might be catching Boston at a spot where they can get a win here, right? Boston 4th in the division with 55 points. Back off the break, the Bruins played twice this past week, a 4-2 loss to Pittsburgh and a 6-0 blanking by Carolina on Thursday. Gave up a couple power play goals and could not get anything past Anderson. Lost 3 of the last 4, outscored 18-6 in the last 4 games. Brad Marchand obviously out of the lineup. Patrice Bergeron now out of the lineup. And Matt Grzelcyk is a game time decision. He may play, he may not play, but the team definitely has some holes. Jeremy Swayman's confirmed to be in net for this game, as I mentioned. He's only got 1 W so far this calendar year. This is a second of 4 games. November 9th, it was a 3-2 win for Boston. And the Bruins, I mean, they seem to have they seem to have Ottawa's number, right? I mean, they've won 11 of the last 12, I think, when I looked at it. But with the holes in their lineup and with Matt Murray in his zone, I don't know. It could be dangerous, right? I mean, Ottawa's a dangerous team to play against. Money line has Boston favored, minus 170 or 1.58, over under set at 6. Ottawa plus 150 or 2.5. I really like Ottawa. I think they'll stay in the game no matter what. Again, on the puck line, plus 1.5. I'll put them in a parlay. I like it a lot. Minus 165 or 1.6 on the puck line at that plus 1.5 for Ottawa, which I like. I'm going to take Ottawa to upset, though. I'm going to get them to win that game. Next one, Columbus against Montreal. Montreal, another morning matchup, matinee matchup here. Montreal is 1-7-2 in their last 10, current 6-game losing streak. Sam Montembeault listed to be in net for the Canadiens. Columbus has Korpisalo listed to be in net. They're 5-5-0 in their last 10, current 2-game winning streak. Montreal last in the Atlantic with 23 points, also last in league standings, off loss number 6 straight. Thursday versus Washington, final 5-2 for the Caps. Another Canadian team, right, opting for a coaching change. I think he's been behind the bench for 1 game so far. Montreal put in an effort. I mean, the shots were 44-23 in favor of the Canadiens. They were 1 for 5 on the power play and perfect on the penalty kill. They out-hit the Caps 32-15, but Samsonov, he just said no, right? I mean, he had a great night. Montreal's 46 games into the season now and only 8 regulation wins. They have a minus 82 goal differential, last in goals for, last in goals against. It's kind of a shame in a way. Columbus, they know they have a tough road ahead, but they started off after the break in a positive way. They had nice 2 wins, right? 4-3 over Buffalo in overtime. Before that, 5-4 over Washington on Tuesday. Blue Jackets, they had the lead after the first. They were trailing after the second. They had to rally in the third to push it into extra time when Jacob Voracek netted the winner 16 seconds into the overtime frame. Columbus is sitting at an even 500, kind of like Detroit is, now in 5th with 45 points in the Metropolitan Division. Patrick Laney, he's obviously in a zone, 8 points in his last 4, 6 goals and 2 helpers. Teams met first on January 30th when Columbus won that game 6-3. This is number 2 of a 3-game series. Money line minus 135 or 1.74 for Columbus. Over under set at 6. Montreal, I'm surprised Columbus isn't favored a little more heavily here. Montreal 2.15 or plus 115. I mean, this is a second game with the new interim coach for Montreal, and I know he's a Stanley Cup champion, and can he turn this team around? Can he fix the goaltending problems? I don't think so, and not the way Columbus is playing right now. I think Columbus is playing gritty hockey, and I think they might pull a little stretch of wins here. I'm going to go Columbus to win that game. I like them a lot, actually. Number 4, we got Toronto taking on Vancouver. Canadian matchup here. Vancouver 4-3-3 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Thatcher Demko listed to be in net for the Canucks. Toronto has Peter Mrazek confirmed to be in net. They're 7-3-0 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. The Canucks are 7th in the Pacific, only 11 points behind first place Vegas. Vancouver ends a 3-game homestand, played back-to-back Tuesday, Wednesday, 5-1 win versus Arizona on Tuesday, and then a 6-3 loss to the New York Islanders. Vancouver, I mean, they were surging right under their new coach, but they seem to have fallen back a bit, and they're kind of in that loop of win, lose, win, lose, win, lose. They've been in that loop for the last 7 games. Could they be catching the Leafs, kind of like Ottawa catching Boston, possibly? I mean, the Leafs just came off a loss. They're 3rd in the Atlantic with 63 points, 6 points behind first place Florida, and 3 games in hand. Last played Thursday at Calgary, which was a 5-2 final loss for Toronto. No goals in the first. Second, Rasmus Sandin, you know, he gets the first of the game to give Toronto the lead. They had the lead for a whole 24 seconds, and Calgary scores 5 unanswered. Another goalie performance. Leafs put 48 shots on net, only 2 found the twine, 0 for 3 on the power play, and gave one up when down a man. Leafs had won 6 straight prior to that loss. Mrazek, he's won his last 4 starts, and again, he's confirmed to be in net for this game. Leafs are a strong team, right? I mean, if you look at just some stats, Toronto first on the power play, Vancouver 16th. Leafs 5th in the penalty kill, Vancouver 32nd, last place. Leafs first in the face-off puck drop battle, Vancouver 9th. Goals for, the Leafs are 4th, Vancouver 28th. The only one they're really close is goals against, right? Toronto 7th, Vancouver 8th. The Leafs, I think, are a little healthier. Money line minus 192 or 1.52 for Toronto. Vancouver plus 167 or 2.67. This is a first meeting between these two teams. Over under set at 6. I look to the Leafs here to right the ship and get a win over Vancouver. Toronto's going to win that game. That's my pick. Next one, Central Division matchup. We got Winnipeg taking on Nashville. Nashville 4-4-2 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Saros listed to be in net. Winnipeg has Eric Comrie listed to be in net. I just forgot to write down their last 10, and I'm not going to redo this video and go find that out. Obviously off a loss. Preds sit second in the Central with 60 points. First place Colorado pulling away now with a 10-point lead over the second place team. They're at 70 points. Last action Wednesday at Dallas when Nashville lost a close one. It was a 4-3 final. Nashville trailed on 3 separate occasions. They brought it back even on those 3 different times. But, you know, at the end of it, they were 0 for 4 on the power play and gave up 2 when down a man. And I think that was the difference. It was a first regulation loss in the last 6 games for Nashville. Now, Winnipeg, they're one of 2 teams on the tail end of back-to-back hockey here. Played Dallas Friday night and fought, put the game into extra time. Lost in overtime. They fell 4-3. Jets are running out of time. I mean, it's great that they fought and got a point. But they need to get W's and get 2 points. Pierre-Luc Dubois, Jansen, Harkins, and Mark Scheifele all finding the back of the net for the Jets in that game. This concludes regular season play between these teams. They've met twice. October 23rd, it was a 6-4 final for Winnipeg. And then Nashville won January 20th, 5-2. Money line plus 170 or 2.7 for Winnipeg. Plus 1.5 on the puck line. Pays 1.64 or minus 155. Over under set at 6. Nashville favored minus 200 or 1.5. You know, Comrie's in net for Winnipeg. I mean, he's only been between the pipes once this calendar year. It was January 29th. It was a game against the Blues. I actually watched a good portion of that game, and he looked really strong. And goaltending seems to be a difference maker right now, and as it always is if you look at it. I think Winnipeg could upset Nashville here. Even though they're on back-to-back, I still think they could upset Nashville. I'm going to go Winnipeg to get the win here. That's going to be an upset I'm going to pick. I'm going to take Winnipeg. Next one, we got Carolina against Minnesota. A game that I'm probably, out of the entire slate, probably the most looking forward to watching, right? 2 top teams. We got Carolina against the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota 8-1-1 in their last 10, current 1-game losing streak. Cam Talbot has been confirmed to be in net. Carolina with Frederik Andersen between the pipes, 7-2-1 in their last 10, current 1-game winning streak. Minnesota, 3rd in the Central with 59 points. Games in hand over both teams ahead of them. Played once since a break Tuesday at Winnipeg, and the Wild could not find the twine, losing 2-0 to the Jets. It was a balanced hockey game. Take the empty net goal out. I mean, it was a 1-goal game. It was a first loss in 7 games. Talbot, he's confirmed to be in net here. He's won his last 3 starts, and his last game is when he recorded a shutout when he faced 30 shots. Tough challenge here, though, right? To get back in the win column. I mean, Carolina back in first place in the Metropolitan with 67 points. Their last game, which we already touched on, was against Boston. It was a commanding 6-0 win for the Canes. Sebastian Aho finding the twine twice. Jordan Staal, Brett Pesce, Andrei Shevchnikov, and Vincent Trocheck all finding the net. Frederik Andersen recording his second shutout of the season. Canes first in goals against, first in the penalty kill. Good defensive team. It's going to be a great game. I mean, I'm looking forward to watching this. This is the first and the only game between these two teams for regular season play. You look at Minnesota at home, really, really strong at home, 14-3-1 at home. And then again, Carolina, strong road team, right? 16-6-2 on the road. Money line minus 115 or 1.86 for Carolina. Probably the most balanced game according to Vegas. Minus 105 or 1.95 for the Wild, over under set at 6. I like the home team Minnesota to get the win here. That's my pick. Next one, Central Division matchup. We got Chicago taking on St. Louis. St. Louis with Ville Husso listed to be in net. They're 6-4-0 in their last 10. Current 2-game losing streak. Chicago has Marc-Andre Fleury listed to be in net. 3-5-2 in their last 10. Current 1-game winning streak. Okay, Jordan Kyrou, you proved yourself at the All-Star weekend, the skills competition. Now bring some of that talent home and log some W's. Blues played Thursday, a high-scoring affair against New Jersey. Final 7-4 for the Devils. Braden Shen with a pair for St. Louis. Justin Falk and Klim Kostin also notching goals. Blues trailed 2-0, brought it to even, took the lead, 3-2 going into the third. Then the Devils scored 5. Blues 4th in the division with 57 points. Chicago 7th in the division with 41 points. Wednesday, the Hawks, first game back after the break, was a success, right? It was a 4-1 victory at Edmonton, a game where Edmonton's goalie Smith had a couple hiccups. Chicago got an early lead, and they didn't hold back. They played a full 60 minutes, right? Smith didn't stand on his head like he did tonight. He played the back part of that game pretty good too, though. I mean, Smith has looked pretty decent for a 39-year-old goalie. DeBrincat, Hagel, Strome, and Doc all lighting the red light for the Hawks. Marc-Andre Fleury with one of his best games, stopping 40 of 41 shots. This wraps things up between these two, and it's a tiebreaker, right? October 30th, it was a 1-0 win for St. Louis. November 26th, it was a 3-2 overtime win for Chicago. Both teams are 2-3 in their last 5 games. Chicago, though, and I'm not going to try to sell you on the Blues here, but I feel strongly about the Blues getting this win. Chicago has a goal differential of minus 41. Blues are plus 29. Goaltending seems to be, again, deciding a lot of games, and you don't get better than Ville Husso right now. I mean, it's as good as it gets with a .941 save percentage. At home, he's 7-1-0. He's got a 1.8 goals against average. He's just strong in net this season. He's having a great season. And there's too many players on that Blues team that could have multiple points easily. The Blues are 5-0-2 in their last 7 against the Hawks. Money line, plus 167 or 2.67 for Chicago. Over under set at 6. Blues minus 192 or 1.52 on the puck line, minus 1.5. It pays 2.3 or plus 130. I like the Blues on the puck line. I like the Blues to win the game. I like the Blues all over that game. Last game, the New York Islanders against Calgary. Calgary are 8-2-0 in their last 10. Current 5-game winning streak. Jacob Markstrom listed to be in net. The Islanders, Varlamov listed to be in net. They're 5-5-0 in their last 10. Current 1-game losing streak. The Calgary Flames are hot again. The longest current winning streak at 5 right now. Now second in the Pacific with 56 points. 3 behind first place Vegas and 4 games in hand. And maybe even more impressive, Calgary has a decent home record. They're 9-4-4. Last action Thursday, a 5-2 victory versus Toronto. And that was a tail end of back-to-back. Wednesday, they beat up Vegas 6-0. Nice couple games back after the break for Calgary, for sure. Christopher Tanev with 6 points in his last 3 games. On Mangiapane, I think 6 points in his last 4 games. And again, Jacob Markstrom, I mean, he's a big reason, protecting the net. He's a big reason why this team's having success, right? 8 shutouts so far this season for Markstrom. New York, they're playing the tail end of back-to-back hockey. This is the second team on back-to-back after a loss to Edmonton Friday night, 3-1. New York losing their games in hand, and they need to get W's. I mean, they're going to let this season slip away. I watched a good part of the game tonight, and that game, it wasn't like New York played a bad game. They played a good game, but Smith for Edmonton stood on his head. I mean, I think the Islanders had more high opportunities. I think they had better chances, but again, Smith played his position well. There's no question. The lone goal, Anthony Beauvillier, and that was on a power play. 5-on-5, they were kept off the scoreboard, and it seems to be a problem. I mean, the Islanders are sitting 29th in goals for. And again, kind of like the Flyers, I'm kind of disappointed with the Islanders. I thought they would have had a better season. I thought they'd be higher in the standings than they are right now. Can they turn it around? Talented team. We'll have to wait and see. Final game between these two teams, November 20th, it was a 5-2 victory for Calgary, and that was in New York. Money line plus 150 or 2.5 for New York. Calgary minus 170 or 1.58. Over under set at 5.5. I like the over here. It pays 1.95 or minus 105. Calgary to get the win and over 5.5. I'm going to go best bet St. Louis. I'm going to go 10 on St. Louis. On the puck line, minus 1.5. I'm going to go a parlay. I'm going to go a Canadian parlay, Ontario parlay, Ottawa puck line plus 1.5, and Toronto on the money line. Then I'm going to go over 5.5 for the Islanders and Calgary, and I'm going to do a standalone bet, Minnesota. So Minnesota, I'm going to go 3. The over 5.5, Islanders Calgary, I'll do 3 there. On the parlay, I'll do 3, 3, and 3. And then I'm going to go 10 on St. Louis on the puck line. Regular picks, Calgary to beat New York. St. Louis to beat Chicago. Minnesota to beat Carolina. Winnipeg to beat Nashville. Toronto to beat Vancouver. Columbus to beat Montreal. Ottawa to upset Boston. Detroit to beat Philly. See if we can keep the weekend in the green. I hope everyone has a great Saturday. Good luck with your picks. Thanks for watching. Good night.